Riza wiped the grease from his hands with a worn rag, squinting at the peculiar elevator shaft that had appeared in his grandfather's garage wall overnight. The old man had passed 3 months ago, leaving behind a cluttered workshop filled with half-finished projects and tools that seemed to defy conventional engineering. But this elevator? This was something else entirely. Another one of Grandpa's crazy inventions, Riza muttered, running his fingers along the seamless metallic surface that hummed with an almost organic warmth. The control panel bore symbols he'd never seen before, geometric patterns that seemed to shift when he wasn't looking directly at them. His girlfriend, Anna, emerged from behind a stack of automotive parts, her dark hair pulled back in a practical ponytail. She'd been helping him sort through the old man's belongings, trying to make sense of decades of accumulated projects. "What is it this time?" she asked, brushing dust from her jeans. "Some kind of service elevator, I think. Must lead to a basement I never knew existed." Riza pressed what appeared to be the most button-like symbol on the panel. The floor beneath them lurched. What Riza had assumed was simply an elevator car was actually something far more sophisticated. The entire garage began to rise, or rather, everything outside began to fall away. Through windows that had somehow become transparent despite being painted over for years, they watched Earth shrink beneath them. "Riza," Anna whispered, gripping his arm. "What did you do?" Before he could answer, the space around them filled with light. Not harsh, artificial illumination, but something that seemed to communicate directly with their minds. When it faded, they found themselves floating in what could only be described as a galactic council chamber. Hundreds of beings from dozens of species occupied crystalline platforms, arranged in concentric circles around them. Some were vaguely humanoid, others defied description entirely. All of them were staring at Riza with expressions ranging from curiosity to what appeared to be barely contained rage. A towering figure with skin like polished obsidian and eyes that burned with inner fire stepped forward. When it spoke, the words formed directly in their minds. "The Terran representative finally arrives," it announced, its mental voice dripping with disdain. 63 standard cycles late for the Accords of Mutual Destruction Prevention. "Do you have any idea what your absence has cost us?" Riza blinked. "I'm sorry, what now?" A being that resembled a walking tree with far too many eyes rustled its branches in agitation. "The human claims ignorance, while their species has been developing weapons capable of cracking moons." "Weapons?" Anna stepped forward, her voice steady despite the circumstances. "We barely figured out how to get to our own moon reliably." "Lies," screeched a creature that looked like an angry cloud of gas with teeth. "Our scouts have observed your nuclear arsenals, your biological warfare research, your artificial intelligence experiments." The obsidian being gestured, and holographic displays materialized around them showing Earth's military capabilities. To Riza's human eyes, they looked primitive: tanks, missiles, fighter jets. But the assembled aliens were pointing at these images as if they depicted planet-killing superweapons. "You see?" The obsidian being continued, "a species barely capable of interplanetary travel. Yet they've independently developed fusion weapons. Do you understand how terrifying that is to the rest of us?" Riza was beginning to piece things together. His grandfather hadn't been just a mechanic. He'd somehow been Earth's secret representative to some kind of galactic United Nations. And by missing meetings for 3 months, the Zephyrian Collective has already mobilized their fleet, announced a being that looked like a jellyfish made of starlight. "They consider humanity's silence an act of aggression." "The crystalline hegemony concurs," added another voice. "A species that develops nuclear fission before achieving interstellar flight is clearly unstable." Anna grabbed Riza's hand. "Can someone please explain what's happening?" The obsidian being's burning eyes fixed on her. "Your species was inducted into the galactic community 47 cycles ago when your representative demonstrated humanity's unique problem-solving abilities. The Accords were established to prevent your kind from accidentally destroying half the galaxy." "Accidentally?" Riza asked. "Humans," the tree being rustled with what might have been exasperation, "are the only species in recorded galactic history to independently discover 17 different ways to split atoms before learning to travel between stars. You also appear to be the only species that uses controlled explosions as your primary method of transportation." "You mean cars?" "We mean everything. Your spacecraft, your ground vehicles, even your recreational activities involve controlled detonations." The jellyfish being pulsed with agitated colors. And now, after 3 months of silence, our long-range sensors detect massive increases in your electromagnetic emissions, artificial satellite deployment, and most terrifying of all, you've begun launching objects beyond your solar system. Riza realized they were talking about routine satellite launches and space probes. To species that had presumably developed gentler technologies, humanity's approach to space travel must look like they were firing weapons at the universe. "Look," Riza said, raising his hands peacefully. "I think there's been a misunderstanding. My grandfather never told anyone he was doing this. Earth doesn't even know aliens exist. We're not trying to threaten anyone." The chamber fell silent. "Your leaders don't know?" The obsidian being asked slowly. "What leaders? We can't even agree on climate change." More silence. Finally, the tree being spoke. "A species has developed nuclear weapons, space travel, and artificial intelligence. Without any centralized authority?" "Pretty much, yeah." The assembled aliens exchanged what could only be described as terrified glances. "Abort the war fleets," the obsidian being commanded. "This is worse than we thought. They're not an aggressive civilization, they're a chaotic one." Anna squeezed Riza's hand. "Is that bad?" "My dear," the jellyfish being pulsed, "your species has achieved in centuries what takes most civilizations millennia to accomplish, and you did it by accident. Without supervision, and apparently for fun. You're not just dangerous, you're utterly unpredictable." Riza grinned. "So we're not starting a galactic war?" "No," the obsidian being replied. "You're starting something much more interesting. Welcome to the galactic community, humans. Try not to accidentally destroy it." As their grandfather's garage-turned spaceship prepared to return them to Earth, Riza couldn't help but laugh. Humanity wasn't just joining the galactic community. They were apparently terrifying it into a whole new era. And it had all started with pressing a button in a cluttered garage.